And I'm Isa Suarez in Windsor, where Donald Trump is on an unprecedented second state visit to the United Kingdom. Thank you, Becky. We'll be back with you in a few minutes from now for all the headlines and, of course, much more, as you heard there from Becky. But taking you right here to Windsor, bringing you in, because there has been no shortage of pageantry here today, with Mr. Trump arriving in Windsor just a few hours ago. And he was greeted by King Charles and Queen Camilla, along with the Duke and the Duchess of Windsor. The royal family are pulling out all the stops for the president's visit. Have a look. And the US national anthem you heard there was played for the arrival ceremony after a carriage procession through the grounds of Windsor Castle. The day, as you can imagine, now packed with meetings and events and lunches and dinners. But we must say not everyone, though, is happy here in London about the visit. These images we're about to show you of the president with convicted paedophile Jeffrey Epstein were projected onto the castle shortly after he touched down in the United Kingdom. You're seeing them now. Police, though, were very quick to take those down and arrested 4 people on suspicion of involvement. But it's this sort of thing that I'm sure the UK government, the royal family, want to avoid at all costs, of course. Sir Alan Duncan is the former UK Minister of State for Europe and the Americas under the first Trump presidency, and he joins me now live from London. Sir Alan Duncan, thank you very much for being with us. The day so far has been pretty spectacular. We've seen the pomp, we've seen the pageantry, the choreography has been spotless. What do you think that President Trump wants to get out, first of all, of today's state visit?
Well, I think he probably wants the dignity and the recognition of being the only president to have had, indeed anybody, to have had a second state visit. I think that what we have laid on has been absolutely amazing. It is, I think, the biggest display of ceremonial troops that we've seen. I think he's going to be happier than a youngster in Disney World, frankly. I hope that he is enjoying it, and I hope the First Lady is too. So I hope this demonstrates that there is a special relationship between the UK and the US, but also actually on a personal level between the President and the King. And I think that he really is behaving impeccably. I think tonight's banquet will be absolutely amazing. So I think this 48 hours will be sort of heavy on dignity, politeness, friendship, and light on politics, which is probably the way it should be. But there will be some politics tomorrow when the president goes to Chequers, which is the country home of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, today really is about, Alan, this lavish hospitality. And we know how much, of course, the US president, how much he loves the royal family. He's an ardent, of course, Anglophile. What do you think, then, as we look ahead in terms of Britain's role as soft power here, the UK will want to get out of this? Because, as you said, tomorrow we focus on very much on foreign policy or on economy for the UK. What do you think that can achieve, you think, the next kind of 24 to 48 hours?
Well, I think most of what might result from this visit will follow afterwards, really, rather than within the 24 hours. We hope that the president will leave with a glow of pleasure and happiness about the way he's been received and treated, and I'm sure he will. There will be some politics tomorrow. I think, obviously, trade is on the agenda. There are quite a lot of business people from the US who have accompanied him. That's good. I think there will be some talk about Ukraine. I think that is inevitable. I mean, the big one that will be missing, even though it's the most important issue in the world because it's quite toxic, is discussion about Israel's conduct in Gaza. But I hope that at the end of this, there might be just a gentle comment to say, Mr. President, I hope you will think about this further, because what is happening cannot go on.
Yes, and I wonder whether we see more of that tomorrow, Sir Alan, especially when there's a press conference, when there's an opportunity for the British media to press, of course, the US president on this. But today, as we're looking at these pictures, it's very much about the pageantry. And I wonder what kind of relationship you think, Sir Alan, that we were likely to see, and the rapport between the US president and, of course, the king, because they're so different, aren't they, both men? But they've had, as we know, very strong rapport in the past. So the differences unite them in some way, you think?
Yeah, and I'd add to that our Prince of Wales, Prince William, who has really sort of stepped up brilliantly into the role of being a senior diplomat. Look, I think that that sort of mutual respect and dignity is very, very important for us. And by the way, I think you put your finger on it. I mean, these visits are very, very carefully organised, and they're sort of hermetically sealed from any kind of awkward public demonstration. But the awkward moment is the press conference, I think, because not only can that raise issues of foreign policy between the US and the UK, it may be that some people will ask questions of the president about what's going on in the United States. And, you know, so it is sort of open season for that little bit of the 48 hours when you have a press conference. So that I think is the danger moment for anyone who wants to, you know, throw a grenade into the works and spoil it, if you like. But that is free speech and open government. So that's part and parcel of the structure.
Yeah, and you talked about hermetically sealed. I mean, it is a moment made for TV, isn't it, Sir Alan? Because, as we have seen, the president's very much shielded from a lot of these protests. Of course, we saw him coming in carriage, but that's within the grounds, so he wouldn't have seen. You won't see, perhaps, any of these protests, or indeed the images we were just talking before we came to you of a photo that was put on the walls here of Windsor Castle, Jeffrey Epstein. Those are the sort of moments that I'm sure the British government, the royal family, will try to avoid, will want to avoid.
Yeah, I mean, look, we're focusing on the dignified and the ceremonial and the friendly side of this. And so, yes, I hope the president will feel very happy at the end of it. But, you know, this is also a statement about the UK. Not only are we the only country in the world which can do this, but also the whole world is watching. I mean, this morning I've had calls from the Middle East, from the States, all who are watching this. I mean, it is box office big television, which I hope is not just a benefit to both the United Kingdom and the United States, but also just to the relationship between the two. It is part of the glue, and I think you know, we can do all this in a nice way, and we can do the heavy politics on another occasion.
Yeah, indeed. And today, very much doing what the Brits do best, pomp, of course, pageantry, and this lavish hospitality. Sir Alan Duncan, appreciate it. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
My pleasure.
And you're very welcome. And as we mentioned, not everyone, of course, is celebrating the US president's visit. Yesterday, we did see protests here at Windsor. And this hour, the Stop Trump Coalition is kicking off a demonstration in London. It's about 25 miles or so from where we are, with others also planned around the country. London police say security has been ramped up in the capital. You're looking now, this is Windsor, just down the road from where we are, and you can see crowds are gathering. But London police say security had been ramped up, indeed, in London, the capital. More than 1,600 officers were being deployed. This is central London, I believe. Looking at live pictures there. CNN's Nick Robertson's following it all from London. And Nick, give us a sense of the crowd, the size, because it's something, of course, that, as I was speaking to Sir Alan Duncan, that the British government will want to try and protect and shield the president from, of course.
Well, it's certainly shielded because this is at least 30 miles away from where he is at the moment, inside of Windsor Castle, behind those walls.